everyone, we're in the craft room and we're going to be making a fun project, and we're going to be making eggs. And I originally saw this on Martha Stewart where she did a plaster spider egg for Halloween, and I tried that, but I thought I would like to do it for Easter and give it a shot for that. So what we're going to do is take an empty water bottle, and we're going to take 8 ounces or 1 cup of plaster of Paris. We're going to funnel this into the empty bottle. You're going to have to work it down there a little bit. Once you get the plaster of Paris into the bottle, all you want to do is add 4 ounces of water. And then you can just shake it up until all of the plaster of Paris has mixed with the water. Okay, and once you feel like you have it all dissolved in there, then go ahead and put your balloon over the opening of the water bottle. And then what you're going to do is let it all seep in there, help it along, squeeze it in there. Okay, when you think it's all in, then what you want is this like very inexpensive, I think I got it at Walmart for like $1 or something, and it's a balloon inflator. And you're going to put that over it, and you're going to blow up the balloon. And probably one that's a little smaller would be better for the amount of plaster I made, but I think it'll work okay. And then you just want to shake it around, swirl it around until you get the entire balloon covered on the inside. And what you're doing is you're just putting a thin coating of plaster inside of the balloon, which is creating the eggshell. You want to do that until when you shake it, it doesn't sound like it's shaking around anymore. So keep doing that, and when you think everything's covered and nothing's gushing around anymore, then go ahead and just put it in a container of water. You're doing that just so that it will keep the round shape and it won't go flat from sitting on a hard surface. Everyone, we're back, and I found that the 1 cup to 1/2 cup is not enough for the big balloon, because the minute I touched it, it just kind of shattered. So I'm going to do that again, try it again, but remember just to adjust it according to your balloon size. Our plaster balloons have dried, so all I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut into the actual balloon. I'm very gently running the blade across the balloon, and it's starting to open up, and it pulls right away from the plaster, just like that. So now we have this really cute egg that we can decorate for Easter. And I'll do the same with the big one. What I did end up doing on this one, I did end up doing 2 cups. And this one has a little damage on top, which is totally fine. I'm going to let this sit here, and I'm going to let it all dry a little bit more. It just feels a little bit damp. So I'll let them sit here a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll do some decorating. The plaster eggs are done and dry and all set, and now we're just going to paint them. This one I'm going to paint in just some spring colors, and this one actually we're going to do something a little bit different with. And these are very delicate, so if you drop them, this is why I'm working on a towel. If you drop them, they will break and shatter. So we're going to protect them as well. Now what I'm going to do here, I had a broken spot, but I was actually going to do it on this one anyway, so it kind of worked out. I'm just going to take a craft knife and kind of cut this open a little bit more. So carefully cut away with your craft knife till you have the opening to be about the size that you want. And I might go just a little bit larger than this, but my plan was to have something sticking out of here anyhow. Now when you get the opening about the size that you want, dump out the plaster that fell in the middle, and then you can decorate this one too. Now again, the important thing to remember is that these are very fragile and will easily break. So I'm working on a cup, and I'm going to throw some weight to the bottom so it'll stand steady on my towel. And I'm putting on an old towel just so that in the event that it should slip off or something, it's less likely to break. And I'm going to paint this nice pale blue. And when I get that done, we'll come back. I have the paint drying on my eggs. This one actually needs one more coat. And before I do that coat, I wanted to measure so I could work on the next step. Now what I'm going to do is I want to mold like a little chicken head, like a chicken is cracking out of his Easter egg. So I have this dowel rod, and it's just about the right length, and I'm going to use that to be part of how I create my little chicken head. So now I know that, and all I'm going to do is put a marking on here with a pencil of about where the egg hits. And what I'm going to use is just regular tin foil. And we're going to create a chicken head on the end of this dowel rod. We're going to do that just by putting the foil on here. Once I have the head the size I want it to be, I cut a piece of wire hanger out. And all I need to do now is decide which is going to be the front and which is going to be the back. I think I'm going to put the front here, and I'm going to use this wire hanger, or this piece of wire hanger, and I'm going to jam it right into there, and that'll be the beak. Then I'm going to throw a little hot glue on here, and I did it on the wood dowel already just to keep the tin foil in place. Okay, and here is the beak. And now I have this other piece of wire from a hanger, and all I'm going to do is wrap it around the neck. Then I'm going to hot glue that in place as well. And then I'm going to cut these shorter because I don't need them to be nearly that long. Double check again if that's roughly where you want it to be. And I'll bend these arms down a little bit, and then they'll be perfect. Alright, that is perfect. So now I'm going to take a little more foil and cover everything again. I'm going to cover the beak, the arms. Now when you've gotten them this far, now's the time to start to put the clay on over your armature. And you can use a polymer clay, you could use any kind of clay. I'm using a paper clay because I happen to really like the paper clay. And all you're going to do is just take the clay and cover everything. Now when you have him all molded the way you want, stick the stick into some kind of a container, maybe with rocks in it or something that'll support it while it's drying overnight. Now to make the polka dots on this little one, all I'm going to do is take some paint, and I'm going to do small polka dots, and I have this dowel rod. It was like an extra piece, so I saved it. And all I'm going to do is dip it into a little bit of paint, and then you can do kind of a test stamp with it. Don't get too much on there. And then I'm going to start to stamp the egg. And I'm going to start on one side, make a little polka dot, and then I'm going to go to the exact opposite side and do the same thing. And then I'm going to just continue around. I'm going to kind of center them if I can. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is go above a little bit and stamp between those to kind of give them some good spacing. Okay, then I'm going to just set it down to dry. and leave it be. When it's dry, I'll flip it and do the other side. Okay, what I'm doing on the big green one is I'm taking the end of a Sharpie marker. I was going to do polka dots on this too, but I couldn't find anything big enough that would give me a good polka dot. So all I'm doing is I'm dipping the end into the paint. And I need to be careful here. And I'm just going to make 5 little petals for like a little flower. So it's going to be a very basic flower. And there's 2 right there, and I'll fill in anything that didn't quite fill in, and then I'll just put like a dot of yellow in the middle, and I'll do that all around this egg. Now the blue egg's all finished, but while I was painting the green one, I had it sitting on a cup and I wasn't paying attention and I knocked it over. So I cracked it, which makes me sad, but all I'm going to do is tie a ribbon over it and put this side in front and nobody will know. So I'm going to have to try to be more careful next time. But what I'm going to do now on this one is I have prepared some resin, and it's the Easy Cast resin, and all I'm going to do is pour it in here. And the reason I'm doing this is my hope is that this will give it extra strength on the inside, so it won't be quite as fragile. And I'm going to put another coat or 2 of, I've been putting a satin varnish on the outside of it, and because I didn't want it overly shiny, so that's what I did on the outside. And on the inside, I'm just going to swirl this around so the whole thing is coated on the inside with resin. And I'll let any excess sit on the bottom if I have any, but hopefully that will just add some much needed strength to this, and then hopefully it can last for years. Our chick is dry, and I painted the beak a poppy orange, and I put a couple of coats on the outside of the big egg, and the inside the resin is dry. You can kind of see where it's shiny there, and I like that it gathered on the bottom, and I'll tell you why. So that when I put the chick in, it's not putting all the pressure on the actual plaster, so now it should be pretty well protected. So before we do that, however, I'll move that out of the way. We need to put the eyes on the chick. And I have these brown eyes, and I just snipped off the back. They come with like a little stem on the back. I just got these at the craft store, and I'm just going to hot glue them into place on the chick. Now all I want to do now is put like a nice little ribbon around him. And here's our little chick with the ribbon. And then all we're going to do is set him right in there. And we have this super cute Easter decoration. So I hope you like it. I hope you give it a try. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions on this or any of my other crafts, go ahead and go to www.craftclotch.com, and you can find a tab that says tutorials, and you can scroll through all of my tutorials, and all the directions are there. So thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time, and happy crafting.